Good morning, AP World History Kids and AP European History Kids. LeMasters here for the second week out. Can't remember the last time I was ever out, even more than 2 days, much less 2 weeks. Hopefully I may be back by the end of the week. That might be a good thing for some of you, or it might be a bad thing for some of you. But anyway, today what I'm going to have both AP World and AP Euro do is a lesson on the 25 unfamous people that became famous due to their participation in World War I. As many of you may be aware and may not be aware, that yesterday was the 100th anniversary of the ceasefire of World War I. At 11 o'clock on the 11th day of the 11th month, the fighting stopped. But it was very fierce fighting, some of the fiercest fighting of the war, all the way up until the time that it stopped. And as a matter of fact, the last American was killed about 5 minutes before 11 on November 11th. And the very last person killed in the war was actually killed at 10:58 that very day. And so it's not like everybody was sitting around waiting until 11 o'clock and they're like, hey, now the armistice is signed, the war is over. But the fighting immediately stopped. It was such fierce fighting that if you go to Europe today, and we'll get to it when we study that part of history later after in the next semester, you can still, if you fly overhead, you can still see where the trenches were dug over 100 years ago in northern France and Belgium and places like that. And so they called it the Great War because at the time there were more people killed in World War I than all the other wars in history put together. So if you took every war, the war with the Greeks, all the wars that were fought that we've studied about that we're going to study about with the Mongols, the Byzantines, the Romans, put everything together, and still World War I had more casualties than all the other wars in history put together, which when you think about it in those terms is actually pretty, it just makes you speechless. LeMasters speechless. So write this on your calendars. On 11/12, LeMasters was speechless thinking about how many people were killed in World War I. The only thing that surpassed it to date has been the amount of casualties in World War II. And so it's really kind of a day to really think about with a lot of solemn thoughts. War. It's something that happens, but it's not a good thing. And hopefully we'll never, ever have to see anything that like World War I and World War II in our lifetimes. Anyway, so world history. Tomorrow I will send back your religion charts. Study those. You will have a test on Thursday. I don't remember if it's 20 questions or 25 questions. It's multiple choice. Not real hard, but it'll count as a major grade. I will count it as your midterm test or whatever that they're talking about, that we're supposed to give you a middle of the 9-week grading period test. Euro, I will send back your DBQs for this week. Haven't looked at them yet. Hope that they're good and it doesn't make me write a lot of little love notes on there. So anyway, I miss you guys. Hope to be back soon. If I'm not back this week, then hopefully we'll be back after Thanksgiving. So anyway, be good for Miss Scott, be good for Miss Serene, and I'll see you guys later.